You're listening to a wee moan podcast with Nads and Joan.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been so long. We are your go-to for all pop culture, entertainment, and celebrity news. We are We Moan Podcast. Welcome back, Joni. How are you?
I am good, Nadia. I'm good. It's great to see you
Surviving.
because it has been a while. We've been a bit sick, haven't we? We've all been a bit
sick. Well, we've been surviving the school holidays and, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. So we've been hit with the flu, influenza A and influenza B, which you can now test for, which is fabulous.
Okay.
You can know what
I'm
you're
glad
dealing with.
we're speaking through the screen.
Yeah, totally. Because one of my people has still got the influenza, but children, they can get really sick and they bounce back quick. Whereas
they do.
Us old people,
it takes weeks.
It can knock you for days.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I reckon flus sort of tend to stay in the system for weeks, I reckon. Like you're not quite over them. They just sort of linger. You're fit and you're well, but you're also, it feels heavy within you or somehow. It takes a while.
Yeah. And so definitely need to get the vaccine next year. I just forgot and have paid the price for all of us.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, school holidays are still on. I am fighting fit now.
Well done.
You look good too, Nadia. How are you?
I feel like I'm looking like Sherlock Holmes today in my outfit. Which is sort of like getting into the era of what we wanted to talk about today, which is all things Jane Austen, because I don't know if you know this, Joan. This year, 2025, is actually the 250th anniversary of Jane Austen's birth.
250 years ago?
Yeah, she was born. So it is a bit of that's probably why you've heard more Jane Austen and adaptations and different things in your, I don't know, on your algorithms, on your TV. Yeah. There's a lot going on at the moment.
Yes.
It is because of her birthday.
She's 250. Quite.
Yeah, she is.
Achievement, Jane. Doesn't look a day over 42.
Absolutely. So, we all actually got onto this. We're both big fans. Like, we've got to start there. But you actually got onto this. You found a documentary. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So the documentary I found on ABC iView called Jane Austen, Rise of a Genius. And it is all about Jane's life. And you're probably right. That's probably happening because of her 250 years. All about her life. Growing up in a family of 7, the second daughter of the Reverend George Austen and his wife, and it just takes you through what she went through to become the writer, the famous writer that she is today. Clearly, in a time where women were not allowed to be writers, and were not allowed to have a job. We'll go through the differences between being a woman then and being a woman today. But yeah, that's on ABC iView, and it is called, Jane Austen, Rise of a Genius. Her journey from self-taught writer to one of the greatest novelists of all time. So should we start with where she was born and just the sort of beginnings of her life?
Yeah, I do, but I also think that like a lot of people are going to be questioning why are they talking about this? They're pop culture, entertainment, and celebrity news. But we made the association that actually Jane Austen was just like us. She was obsessed with pop culture, entertainment, and celebrity. She was like the salacious, the things. Don't you think? Like, I feel like she was right. That's what she was writing.
She was a great gossiper, writing novels about people falling in love and the class system and what you had to do to make sure that you secured your place in society and rose up and didn't lose all of your money.
But it was very pop culture.
Yes, and she was critiquing lots of different characters, creating really funny characters.
Yeah.
teasing people from different class systems, or showing how certain people would act and how rude they were or how funny they were. You know, the mother in Pride and Prejudice is particularly funny, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. She is known as being a comedy writer, I feel.
Yes.
And that's where I feel like a lot of the adaptations that we're going to talk about, the most successful ones, were the ones that are actually true to her style, which does have an element of comedy within it.
And then also on that pop culture element, so yes, it's gossipy. When she did start releasing her stories, they were released one chapter at a time so that people would rush out and buy that chapter. Like, oh, the next chapter's out, quick, get it. And then
kind of like an OK magazine, you know.
Totally, yes, like an OK magazine, or
run
like
to your newsstands,
like a series that you release bit by bit on binge, and everyone's on the edge of their seat, which is
that's
not true.
That's more. That's actually more common now. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then also there was a popular King George V or something. And he was he wasn't a very likable character. He was incredibly rich, threw lavish parties, and was sort of criticised for being very not frugal, the opposite of frugal, for spending all his money and just being
lavish,
rude, sort of lavish. That's the word I'm looking for. He adored her books, and he had all of them in his library.
Yeah,
and he invited Jane to come and see his library, and even though she found him somewhat disgusting, like this sort of gross old pig who threw parties and probably had sex with numerous young women, her publisher said it would be a good idea if you dedicated, I think it was Emma, that was the next book that she was working on.
Yep.
It would be a good idea if you dedicated Emma to King George. I'll double check which king it was. And she did so, clearly, because then he would that would give her more.
And it was awesome. Like, even at the time, she was extremely ambitious, you know, and that really goes and tells us how ambitious she was. She was hanging out with people that she didn't want to hang out with, so that her books could actually sell more copies, and that she could make a name for herself. Because at the time, as we know, women were an object and a possession rather than a free-thinking, moving being with a heart and ambition. So she was really way before her time, and she is, for many women, a huge aspiration just because she broke a lot of barriers. And she wrote some damn good series and books, and like so many adaptations have been made of them, and they're like really, like, for someone who has had a bit of mental health stuff going on, they are such a great distraction, but they're just so good because they're not like watching true crime. They actually make you feel good. They actually make you feel good. You know, you come away and you feel like good about the world, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then also when we say, I mean, when you say, yes, of course it's written, she's writing these in the 1800s, but the fact that they translate to today,
that's it.
In more modern adaptations of them, we'll go through a whole lot of them. We won't focus on these too much, but Clueless is based on, is that Emma, Nadia, that Clueless is based on?
Yep.
Emma. Yeah.
They've got a character called Elton, which is Mr. Elton.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you have Bridget Jones' Diary, where Renee Zellweger is Elizabeth, and Hugh Grant is Wickham, and Colin Firth is playing again. He plays
Mr. Darcy.
Mr. Darcy. So
yeah,
it translates to today, and we continue to use her stories.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they've got all of the elements. They've got intrigues, you know, love, lust, like all of these elements. She somehow, and look, they do talk about this in the series, that she was really genius in the way she could write these characters and build these stories and these storylines together.
Yes,
and look,
which they attribute to her being the seventh child and second daughter to her father, the Reverend George Austen. And therefore she was brought up in a huge family and able to just, watch people argue and bicker and fight and really start to develop characters.
Study them. Yeah, study them. And Well, Shall we go through a couple of her books, or do you want to go through more the documentary?
Well, let's just allow our listeners to understand what life would have been like for our
give us a picture. Paint a picture for her.
So she's born in 1775, as you said, 250 years ago. Born 9 days before Christmas. Her father is a reverend and that meant that with that job he got a house. But it also meant that when he died or lost the house, they lose the house. So the family are somewhat dependent on their father's work and him being alive, which is a feature of one of her novels, Sense and Sensibility, when the father dies, meaning that the daughters lose everything. Just to simply give us an idea of what it was like then and it is today, let's just go through some of the things that we have today, Nadia, and that we may take for granted. Let's start with, I'm going to hit you and you're going to tell me what you think they did instead. So toileting.
Oh, God.
Toilets, storage systems. What do you think?
Well, I think I have some idea. I think they may have used a bowl that was,
done. Bed chamber, yes.
Bed chamber, but if you were of royalty, you did have some kind of wooden throne kind of thing to sit on, because that's actually where the modern toilet came from, if I am not
mistaken.
Mistaken.
And why people still say, I'm just going to go to I'll go use the throne, because it was once. Yeah. So you would have a big wooden seat and you'd sit on it and then you would do your business.
There'd be a bowl underneath. Absolutely. Yeah. And then a servant would be.
For the not so rich, directly onto the street, which would then flow down into
the sewerage directly on the street. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's horrendous.
Which would then go into the river. Yeah. So that was the toileting then. Electricity, Nadia. What did they do for electricity? What was Jane using?
Candles.
Yes, she was. How would she heat herself?
Gas lamps.
Oil lamps. You're very good at this. Oil lamps. And the good old fireplace. Yeah.
Wooden fire. Yeah, fireplace. Yeah.
Which would lead to multiple house fires and horrific burns.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah.
Lovely, lovely part of being part of the 1800s. So, refrigeration.
I feel like I'm winning this pop quiz. Refrigeration. I feel like they had. So I remember from my days in the film land that they had these chili boxes that they had outside.
A chili bin. Yep.
Chili bins that they could have outside. Otherwise, they just used a pantry sort of system, I think.
Yes, you are correct. You'll get points for that. But you can also say that they use salting, smoking, and pickling.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And
so
smoked things.
Yeah. Yeah. You had a lot to do. You were constantly having to smoke things, pickle things, jar things. You were busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you'd be lighting the fire and then you'd be cleaning out your bedpan. So not much time to write for poor old Jane.
and build fires and all that sort of stuff.
Building the fire, yeah. Now, what about diseases? We now have COVID and the flu, which aren't very fun. And I can rush down to the local supermarket and grab a test. And in my own home, I can turn to my whole family and say, you've got flu B, you've got flu A, and you've got a dash of COVID. But what did they do? What sorts of diseases did poor old Jane suffer from? Particularly because, as we know, they're all shitting in the street.
I do believe the word typhoid is coming up in my brain.
Perfect.
I believe that they had plagues. They had a they had a lot of infection because they didn't have, and a lot of that was a common cause of death back then because they didn't have antibiotics, I believe.
No, they did not. I don't think they'd even knew about washing your hands at that point. That wasn't really discovered. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, look, what's the thing when you don't have enough vitamin C or nutrients?
Scurvy.
Scurvy, but that's probably
when you're on a boat.
On the boat. I don't know. Tell me a list of disease.
Cholera, scarlet fever, smallpox, polio, you name it, they had it. They had it all. A lottery of diseases. And not very advanced ways of dealing with them. I think a common method at the time was to bleed people out. So they'd say, oh my goodness, you're really sick. We're going to drain the blood out of you.
Leeches as well.
Yeah, leeches would, was that to drain the blood or was it to clean wounds?
That was to drain the clean wounds and drain blood, yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, maggots, that actually worked though. To clean wounds, maggots are actually very good at that.
I think they still use leeches. Anyway, yep, go on.
Yeah. And then, of course, there comes to equal rights. So what sorts of rights did you think that Jane may or may not have had?
Well, she didn't have the right to vote.
Correct.
She didn't have the right to education.
Yep.
She didn't have the right to drive a car. I don't think they had cars, did they?
No cars yet.
I can't think of anything else.
She probably wasn't allowed to ride a bike. Or even if she rode a horse, she would have to ride side saddle. She'd seem incredibly uncouth. She couldn't vote. She couldn't own property. Couldn't make a will. Couldn't enter into contracts. Difficult if you're trying to release a book. And she couldn't sue or be sued, which I suppose you could take, could be a positive and could be a negative. But they're the things that Jane was not allowed to do. They all feature heavily in her stories, particularly the transfer of money from fathers to their children. If you had all daughters, then the money would go to the closest male cousin.
And that was a theme in many of the books. Pride and Prejudice was, they didn't have any male heirs to entail the estate onto, so it would go to the cousin, the first male cousin, and so on. So yeah, it was a really hard time for women because if they didn't have family, they would have to rely on their brothers, their uncles, their any kind of, or friends even, to just survive and have all the basic needs met. So yeah, really, really, really tough time for women, and that's why the story of Jane Austen and her plight with her books is really something to have a lot of pride for as a woman.
Yeah, she's hugely close to her older sister. There's only two daughters, Jane, who's also called Jane.
Yeah,
I think. No, of course not. She's called Jane.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of Jane's older sister, but she's very, very close with her, which is a feature in, say, Pride and Prejudice, when there's the two sisters, Jane and Elizabeth. Yeah. Very, very close. And her parents had an eighth son who they gave away because they thought, look, let's give him away to a rich family where he can grow up rich. And this rich brother at some point in Jane's life does come to help Jane and her sister, who are at this time, even though Jane is writing books, she's hasn't gotten much money from it. And she, her and her sister are trying to survive, and
just frozen.
They get in contact with their brother, who is sent to a rich family, and he allows them to come and live in his estate, and allows Jane to write.
Sorry, guys. I think you are freezing, Joni.
Oh, you're joking.
That's annoying.
Am I still freezing now?
You there, Joan?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you just froze and your screen went black. Anyway, Hopefully it was just me and and hopefully it wasn't on the recording. But yeah, we just missed that the brother in real life, Jane's brother was entailed away to a rich
given away to a rich family so that he could himself be rich. And he, at some point in Jane's life, when her and her sister, when the father has died, Jane and her sister have nowhere to live, he comes in and says, okay, you can come and stay on my estate and you can stay in this property. And that allows her to write. But again, just showing that they're sort of, you know, Jane and her sister are at the whim of the males in their lives.
And that's what she was really fighting for as well with the creation of her books. She wanted the money so she could be independent in some way.
Yes.
But unfortunately, you know, as fate would have it, you know, the book sales were, and we can get into that a little bit when it comes to the book sales, because she did make some money. She could live, but not enough to make her really comfortable, which is what she was really wanting, that independence. So it was such a really crazy time for women. And like, I feel like we should start with just going through a couple of the adaptations, because she started with Lady Susan was her first, it's called a novelette, which is not quite a novel, and it's not quite a short story, sort of in between. Mm-hmm. And the adaptation, it was actually done pretty recently in 2016, is with starring Kate Beckinsale and Chloe Slovini. And it's called Love and Friendship, and you can see it free on SBS or Stan. I've seen this. That? Look, I it's not one of her greatest. I reckon she was just hitting her. It hadn't quite hit her stride in terms of her writing and what landed and what didn't. It still had a lot of intrigue and, you know, definitely different dynamics, the mother-daughter relationship, and, you know, it was all about relationships and dynamics and stuff like that. Yeah. In terms of, it's not one of her most famous pieces, and I probably rate that a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
Just because the amount of love I have for, you know, I'm not going to say what they are yet, but those productions than I have for these. The scale is very much, it's just chalk and cheese.
Okay.
So
what came next, Nadia?
So the next came Sense and Sensibility, which was actually written in 1811. And the most famous film adaptation was in 1995, and most people know it. It starred Emma Thompson, Kate Winslet, Alan Rickman, Professor Snape, and Hugh Grant. Yes. And you can watch that on Binge. Yep. And I, for some reason, don't have Binge at the moment, and I would have liked to have seen it, but I can't rate that one. Have you seen that recently?
I have seen it recently. Yeah. I love all those actresses. Yeah. I love Emma Thompson. Yeah. It's got Kate Winslet in it. You're not a fan of Kate Winslet. I love Hugh Grant. Man, makes me laugh.
I don't hate her, but she's not my fave.
So this one is very related to Emma's life in that the opening scene is the father dying, leaving the two sisters and the mother without a home and reliant on like a distant cousin. So that's the premise of the movie, and then they're just sort of like, well, what are we going to do? So again, she's highlighting the injustices of being how awful it was to be a woman. But no, I think that, I do think that's a good adaptation. I do enjoy that one.
Yeah. And there's the movie poster there if anyone wants to know.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's Hugh Grant with he's smiling very hard there. Look, it was, so you rate, what do you rate that out of 10 then?
Oh God, I don't know. 8.
Wow.
I think it's good.
Okay.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I need to go back to Sense and Sensibility again.
Yes.
Okay. So next, she really hit her stride, and this is where we're in the land of Pride. Arguably her most famous book, which is Pride and Prejudice, which was written in 1813. And we've mentioned before, but one of the most famous adaptations is Bridget Jones' Diary. But that wasn't a true adaptation, I would say. But we'll go into the more true adaptations. The first one, and that's, you can already see it had so much influence that the first adaptation was actually done in 1940 with Laurence Olivier and Greer Garson.
Yes.
Have you seen that advertised? Yeah, it's you can watch it somewhere. I don't think I've got. I don't know. It was probably on Foxtel or something like that. But they're all like in little Bo Peep. I don't think they quite got the costuming right, because they actually they look like they're little, like they all look like little Bo Peep kind of dresses, not from women from the 1800s.
Like, looks like they're herding sheep.
Yeah, like it doesn't look quite right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we've got my most famous production, which is the BBC production of Pride and Prejudice, which is starring Colin Firth, Jennifer Ehle, and some know Julia Sawalia, who played Lydia, and she's best known for Staffy on Absolutely Fabulous. I just think that's a funny kind of through line.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I noticed that straight away. Oh, do you know what else I noticed though? Who else is in that? Yeah. Someone from, I should bring the name up, sorry, but she's from The Office. She's the female love interest in The Office the whole way through. She's one of the cousins.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, she's young
I'm gonna have
in
to
it.
look that up. Oh, that's so funny. Is she playing Kitty or someone?
Possibly.
Oh, one of the cousins. That wouldn't be Kitty.
She's like, she's in it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so I actually just wanted to like preface the fact that this show has gotten me through, like I mentioned it before, like it is my go-to when I'm feeling down. It is my go-to when I'm feeling like I'm just having a bad day. It will always pick me up. And it's so funny because on Barbie, actually, you know, the movie Barbie with now I can't think of her name. What's her name? Gorgeous Australian woman. Joan, help me out.
Oh, sorry. Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for
what's she in?
Barbie.
Oh, Margot Robbie, darling. Margot Robbie.
Thank you. Why is it this? I'm trying to bring it to the stage and it's not.
Yeah, no, why are you talking about Margot Robbie? Is she in an adaptation?
No, I'm trying to put up a video which is not coming up. That's really sad.
You do that, but it's Lucy Claire Davis, who is also in the is also in Pride and Prejudice.
Okay.
You may or may not know her.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in Pride and Prejudice. She played Maria Lucas in the BBC's 1995 production of Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, Maria Lucas. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to have to. I probably need a visual of that.
I also heard that Jennifer Ehle during COVID read the entire Pride and Prejudice to her thousands of Instagram followers. So you really missed out there, Nadia. You should have tapped into that one.
Oh, that's so cool. And another fun fact, because I'll go back to my story in a second.
Oh, yeah, give me any gossip on those two, because they're hot.
Yeah, so Jennifer Ehle and Colin Firth actually dated for a couple of years after, which is kind of fun, you know, I like to think that. But anyway, going back to my...
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I'm saying press add to stage and it will not do it for me.
How annoying.
Okay. Anyway, go. Keep...
All right, so... Yes, that Pride and Prejudice is my favourite. We also have the one starring Keira Knightley. And Keira Knightley was approximately, she was 19 when she was in Pride and Prejudice. And she starred with, who else is in that Pride and Prejudice? I don't know, but she portrays Elizabeth Bennet. It's good. It's not as good as the BBC one. There is a Bollywood...
Okay, I've got it.
Oh, she's got it. All right, here we go, people.
Let me just
hold on to your
bloody
seats.
hell, mate. Oh.
Okay, kids, it's time to run out and get the new depression Barbie. She wears sweatpants all day and night. She spent 7 hours today on Instagram looking at her estranged best friend's engagement photos while eating a family-sized bag of Starbursts. And now her jaw is killing her, and she's going to watch the BBC's Pride and Prejudice for the 7th time until she falls asleep.
The situation of our families is such that any alliance between us must be regarded as a highly reprehensible connection.
Anxiety, panic attacks, and OCD sold separately.
Barbie, wake up. See, it was worth
okay,
it.
Okay, kids, it's time to run out.
That was worth it. That was worth it.
Far out, mate.
That was
was
so funny.
That was, I'm trying to make a point.
That a lot of people use it as therapy. How many times do you think you have watched Pride and Prejudice? Where have you gone?
Are you there? Oh my
there you
God.
are.
No, we're still recording. I was somehow kicked out of the stream. Anyway, fabulous. So I finally got that up there. It basically, when I saw that, I'm like, I have just been. I feel like someone's putting a spotlight on me. I've been seen because I haven't just seen it seven. I haven't just seen it 7 times, Joan. I've probably seen it like 20 to 25
20 times,
countless times.
Yeah.
And like as I say, it's my go-to. So I can't say enough how much I love it, and
it makes you feel better. And I have, strangely enough, when I came to your house to watch a podcast, remember you were driving me to the ferry, and lo and behold, the Pride and Prejudice music just came on the piano.
Oh, yeah. And I picked it straight away, didn't I?
Yes, the first note you're like, it's Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah. No, well, so anyway, back to, sorry about the delay. I had to get that out there because I just thought that was so funny. But it was, it was another pop culture reference to Pride and Prejudice in Barbie. But yeah, so Keira Knightley, 2005. So Carey Mulligan, Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl, as we know, played Jane. And dated Simon Woods, who played Charles Bingley. So that was another couple that got together. And then Charles Bingley, the guy who played Simon Woods, he then became gay. But that's another.
Oh, he was gay, pretending not to be, in a very true portrayal of the character.
Well,
because he would not admit to being gay in those days. No.
True. Yeah, maybe that is a through line to, how it was back then. But anyway, what do you give this? Is Keira Knightley? I didn't like Matthew McFadden. I didn't like Darcy in this one.
No, and no one. I do like him, like as an actor, but nothing beats the BBC's documentary. Nothing beats that.
Yeah. And anything that comes up, like everyone's going to be immediately comparing it straight to the BBC version. So it's quite hard to sort of remake that one.
But it did do very, very well. It was very popular, and do people?
And it's really well. It's watchable. I like Keira Knightley. I'm going to give that. So hang on. Let's give the BBC production a 10.
10.
That's obviously
it's a 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Keira Knightley one. I reckon it's a good solid 8. Like it's not bad. Like, they did a good job, but it just doesn't compare for me.
Lydia's portrayal in Pride and Prejudice BBC, the portrayal of Lydia, she's so funny.
Yeah.
Isn't she? So funny.
Yeah, I reckon she's
she's like perfect for it.
Both of them. Yeah.
And like I watched it with
their dynamic's hilarious.
Yeah, 9 or 10-year-old daughter. And she the whole time she was just like, she just gets like she's just so silly. She's going to embarrass herself, Mum. Like they can still see how silly some of these characters can be and how they might get themselves in trouble, which she does.
Yeah. So the next 2 books were Mansfield Park and Emma. And there is a bit of a story about how they were released.
So going back to the documentary.
Yeah.
she hits her stride with Pride and Prejudice. She does really well, and she does make money on it. It's her brother that does all those dealings, because as we know, women weren't allowed to have contracts, etc., etc. So her brother does the dealings on that, but she does make money, and it's enough money for her to like go out and buy some fancy dresses, sort of start hitting high society in London. This is when she's exposed to the further injustices in the city. You've got the working poor, you've got children working in, in factories and like cutting their arms off left, right, and centre. People living in squalor, prostitution, and then you've got King George V, who's having lavish parties and asking Jane to come to his private library, which she's kind of disgusted in. So during that time, she writes Mansfield Park, and that is her. She loves it. It incorporates elements of slavery and social injustice at the time. No one writes a review on it. The reviewers go silent, and it does not do well. And that will forever be the bone in her back, or whatever you say. What do you say? Like the thing that just brings her down. Because unfortunately, and when she does then write Emma, the deal she makes with the publishing of it is that with the money from publishing Emma, which I think she's able to do she signs that contract herself. She's like, no, I'm going to do it. She also says, I want part of the money to be spent on re-releasing Mansfield Park. And that ends up making her completely broke, because although Emma does so amazingly well, then the funds and they probably rip her off, let's be honest, but they release Mansfield Park as well, and then they send her a measly, like nothing in the mail. So Mansfield Park is her undoing. Yeah,
because it was the printing. The cost of printing was, and it just didn't sell. So it was her contribution, because she, it's actually funny. It's sort of like it speaks to a lot of artists who are doing, popular things right now, and they want to do something a bit more, political or explorative, and then they fall on their face because the market isn't as open to that, and then and they do lose money, time, and energy.
Yes. Exactly. So have you watched an adaptation of Mansfield Park? Did you enjoy any of those?
No. So Mansfield Park, so it's a Francis O'Connor, Johnny Lee Miller. They did a film, 1999. I haven't seen it recently, but look, it's probably, again, about a 4 for me.
Yeah, okay.
That one. I hate to be the people that, of the people that love the popular gossipy stuff, but I'm an Emma fan.
Sorry, Jane.
Emma was.
We agree with the critics. Mansfield Park.
We agree with the critics. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Jane, but when you're on a good thing like that, it's just, I don't know what it is. It just speaks to so many people. Well, it's so relatable as well. So, Gwyneth, so there's a few adaptations, and Emma is the story of a young lady who is smart, funny, and rich, and she plays matchmaker, and it's the story of how she tries, and she has some success, and then she really F's it up, and then she falls in love with the person that she's trying to match, anyway, she accidentally falls in love through the process. And there's 2 pretty good adaptations, I would say. The first being the Gwyneth Paltrow, Toni Collette, Ewan McGregor. I thought he was a terribly cast in this one. It was straight after Trainspotting. It was, so you can see it on Stan. It's a 1996 production. That was Gwyneth Paltrow. She was like her heyday. This is
Yes.
And it's pretty good. I reckon it's probably a solid 6. Quite a solid 6. She does a really good job. But my absolute favourite of the Emma is the 2020. It's brand new, pretty much. You can see it on Amazon and Binge, and it stars Johnny Flynn, Mia Goth, Anna Taylor-Joy, and Callum Turner, which is who is dating Dua Lipa, which is a, little side note there.
Yeah, totally.
And Mia Goth actually is married to Shia LaBeouf. I don't know why that sort of tickles me a little bit, but you can kind of, I like to know who's dating who, and
totally.
Yeah. So, and this adaptation, I loved Anya Taylor-Joy's depiction of the character.
Mm-hmm.
It's just done with so much fun, so much class. She's not very likable, but I don't know. She just gives it so much dimension. And if you like Sex Education, which is another Netflix show, there's quite a few cast members from Sex Education in this film. And I just thought it was bloody good, mate. Bloody good.
Well, it's
seen that a few times. I reckon that's a 9. That's a 9 for me.
You can't give it a 10. If you give Pride and Prejudice a 10, you can't give it a 10.
No.
No. But it is so beautiful. It is like plunging into a beautifully crafted wedding cake or a candy-coloured dollhouse. Do you know what I mean? It's got pastel and different vibrant colours. Pale pink, aqua, burnt orange, and burgundy combined with like silks and custom wallpapers, patterned carpets, upholstered furniture.
They do so well.
Beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Which is a theme that runs through watching any of the adaptations, because the houses are always so gorgeous and they've got their beautiful dresses.
No, but they nailed this one. It was understated, but also really well done.
Pretty.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the burnt orange and pale pink. Like, who knew? But they are good colours together.
Yeah,
burnt orange, pale pink, and aqua. Gorgeous.
So true. And that beautiful, that mint green behind her. Oh, it's so good. I don't know her name actually, but she was on Sex Education. There you go.
Oh, she was too. She's the crazy,
The hornback.
They've also got in it starring as the character, I don't know her name, Nadia. Who's the character who's, she's going to be poor and Emma is very cruel to her at the picnic. Well, anyway, the person who acts her in this,
don't have her name. Sorry,
a major role in it. If anyone watches Call the Midwife, it's Chummy from Call the Midwife, and boy, do I love her. She's brilliant. I can tell you her name, but she plays Chummy in Call the Midwife.
Oh, how fantastic!
It's a good watch. It's beautiful, and you should. Oh, what did you give it? A 9.
I gave it a 9, Emma. Yeah. This adaptation.
I'll give it an 8.
Ooh, okay. Fair enough. So we're pretty much through. We've just got Persuasion and Northanger Abbey left. Persuasion, there's a pretty good one with Dakota Johnson on Netflix, and also a guy called Cosmo Jarvis, who is absolutely gorgeous. 2022. It was watchable, but I'd probably give it a 6. I just thought, it's just not as, I don't know, it's not as quirky, doesn't have as much fun. It sort of feels like it's a woman that used to be in love with a man, but unfortunately her husband didn't find it a fit match. He wasn't
she's not in love with him.
Well, no, she was really in love with him, but basically they were star-crossed lovers because the family did not approve. And then he went off and became the captain of a ship, and he comes back and he's all of a sudden like the man about town, and she's still in love with him. So it's the story of them getting back together, basically. It's a good film, a good book, and go check that out. That's on Netflix if you have it. Northanger Abbey, there's a 2007 adaptation with Felicity Jones and Kerry Mulligan.
Oh yeah,
love it. It's on Amazon. I'd give that a 2. Sorry. my favourite. I
Two.
thought the casting was terrible. Like Carey Mulligan was playing like, you know, a side character. Like, please put her to the front. Thank you very much.
No, just a quick question. The guy that's
Yeah.
on the screen that you said you knew the girl was from that picture.
Yeah.
What's he from?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. He does look very familiar.
So familiar.
No, but not on Sex Education. I'd know that because that's
I just couldn't
one of
put my
faves.
finger on who he is, but I'm like, oh my God, I know you.
Yeah, okay. Not sure. But yeah, look, we're just about wrapping it up. And look, I did a bit of research before we came on, and I wanted to let you guys know, and you, Joan, because I don't know if you know this yet, but there's in development on a new Netflix adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, starring
Oh my God.
Emma Corrin, Jack Lowden, Olivia Colman, and it's the director of Heartstopper. You know that show on Netflix, really, really popular. It's a really great show. Euros Lynn is directing, and a woman, you might know this writer, Dolly Arderton. She's an English like relationship sex writer, written loads of she's writing the actual adaptation, and it's coming to Netflix. So we're going to have a brand new Pride and Prejudice coming. I'm not sure when they're going to release that, but I would hope, I hope it's going to come within her birthday year. Here are the actors on the screen that are going to portray these characters. I'm guessing that will be Elizabeth Darcy and the mother. But we'll see. Mrs. Bennet, I should say. So, yeah. So we're going to have something to look forward to, but they've got a big, to try and match or try and, we try not to compare things, but it is hard when it comes to Pride and Prejudice. The BBC version, they just got it right, didn't they? They just really nailed it in every way. So animated, so quirky, so funny, and it's just something that you can just come back to time and time again and feel better.
But I would, totally, Nadia. I know. Well, but that actress playing Mrs. Bennet, that'll be exciting. I do love her.
Yeah, Olivia Colman. Yeah, look, she's an odd choice because, like, if I think about,
she'll play it perfectly. She'll be fluttering about, going woo. She'll do a great job.
Yeah, I'm just thinking her in other roles. I haven't seen her sort of play someone with sort of like a more of a comical edge. So we'll see how they go. I've never heard of Emma Corrin before, and either with Jack Lowden. Hopefully they can do Jane Austen's most famous novel, A Bit of Justice. Yeah. Yes. So I think we've pretty much wrapped it up. Just probably apologise for a few interruptions. I don't know what happened. We had a bit of dead air there. And
I'll tell you what happened. I've got all the kids home from school holidays and I think they're on all the devices. That's what's happening. Yeah.
Case closed.
That's what's happening.
Because usually I'm the one with tech issues.
I know. Usually it's Dita. Dita's wandering about just...
No, actually, and for people playing at home, Dita is my 82-year-old uncle who occasionally comes to stay with me for a week out of a month, just to keep me company and, hang about.
Just steals all your data. Dita and his data.
Well, yeah, he steals all my data. But I got NBN put in the fiber network, so I'm all connected in, baby. It's never me now. Anyway, so look, I think we'll come back next week strong. We're going to get back to our modern day entertainment, pop culture and news, celebrity news stuff. I think we've missed the boat with the Amazon wedding of the year. I
would love to talk about the Amazon wedding of the year, but I do know what you mean. We may have missed the boat, literally, in Venice. We may have,
but there's loads of things that are coming up and for us to unravel and discuss. And, can't wait for that. If you've got a minute, give us a review on your podcast streaming platforms. Give us a comment, like, subscribe, follow, do all the other bits and pieces, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Och, that's enough moaning for today, lasses. See you next week.